Hey everyone, welcome back to Pocket Coaching. I'm Penny, this is Katie. We are Pet and Parent Longevity, popping into your ears once a week just to give you some of that pep talk, encouragement, bit of a how to break through, lift your game a little bit, re-inspire you, reconnect, be your friend, that little angel that sits on your shoulder and tells you the good things in life. So here we are.
Plural.
What was that? Sorry. Oh, angels.
No.
Sorry. We are actually two people, not one, melded together. We are not Kenny, we are Katie and Penny. So put it that way, two angels. Right. Anyway, back to the point. Here we are to talk to you today about obstacles, because they're not nothing. We know we need to do good things. We know we need to do certain good things in order to get results, but it's not always easy to change. And even when we do want to change, things come up and get in our way. That might be someone who you live with who doesn't believe in what you're doing and tries to steer you out of it, right? Or it might be that time is against you, or that the thing that you are needing to do or acquire takes a little bit of money, so you have to wait until you've got that there to invest. Whatever that might be, these obstacles are real, but they shouldn't stop you from doing it. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, so this came up in our lives the other day. So if you're not tuning into our lives, tune into our lives, because we dig into this a little bit more. But this came up the other day and we wanted to just flush it out more, because if it was easy, we would all be doing it, and we're not. And that's okay. I think there's a lot of guilting and shaming that goes on around making healthy behavior changes. Like, oh, you should just be doing it. Like, why aren't you exercising every day? Why don't you eat this way? And it's very real, because we are adults and life is happening, and it's not easy to make these changes. But there are many different ways that we can work around them. And that's what we really want to focus on, is how to get past them. Because look, at the end of the day, in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months, in a year, there's never going to be a perfect time to do the thing, because you're always going to have these roadblocks. And the first step to overcoming them, to getting past them, is to identify the specific obstacles that you're running into. Because if we know that it's hard, but that's kind of the extent of it, or if we're kind of being vague, we're not going to be able to take a very specific path to get there. So next week, we'll talk about kind of setting those goals and how to go about it. But the first step that most people try to skip past is literally, what are the issues? What are you running into? And they can be, like Penny said, like you just said, they can be more social. It could be a lack of support. It could be logistical, right? I want to start going to the gym, but my work hours, or there's no gym near me, or whatever. It can be financial. It can be emotional and mental, right? Sometimes we get in our own heads and it's just, we don't really want to do it, even though we know that we should. And so not only kind of thinking about these different categories, if you will, of obstacles, but then getting really granular about it.
Yeah, and what I would say is, to the emotional side of it, that's often the one that pulls us down, because we don't necessarily see it coming, and we like to lie to ourselves that that's not us, that we're stronger than that, or we're more committed than we think we are, or right. But our emotions, if you can learn to master your emotions, and this is a big, big topic, we're not going to explode it all here, but if you can learn to master your emotions, you are now really in the driver's seat of your own life. Life doesn't happen to you, you get to call the shots. So it doesn't just apply to busting through these roadblocks, overcoming those hurdles. It applies to every facet of your life. If you are trying to achieve a particular goal, if you're looking for an outcome for something, if you're trying to get a promotion, if you're trying to go on a holiday, like every single one of these things takes emotional maturity and mastery, because things always go wrong. The world is not perfect. And so I would encourage you guys to have a little bit of a reflection moment to say, where do I think, like, you don't have to share this with anybody, because it's kind of it's the deep, dark secret that we never want anyone to know about ourselves, right? And if it is a blind spot and you struggle to find where your emotional weakness is, then I would say find a trusted friend who you can just have that conversation with and say, listen, I'm going to be really vulnerable here for a second, but can you just tell me the flaws that you see in me that I repeat, that I might not spot in myself? can you just, in a kind way that doesn't make me cry, tell me what my blind spots and weaknesses are? Because I'm on a mission right now to improve, because I have a bigger vision for my life, because I have a bigger destiny to fulfill, because I know I'm worth a better life than I have right now. This isn't necessarily the life I signed up for. I want the one that I actually really want. And in order to get that, something has to change, because if it was going to magically happen, it would have happened already. So to switch that pathway and steer me to where I want to go, I want to up level. And so we're going to encourage you to do that. That's something that we do in our lives. We're looking at how can we up level? How can I get a better understanding of something that I want to share with you guys? How can I improve my health so I'm not just talking the talk, but I'm walking the walk? And that's what I was talking about last time with in terms of the sleep and stuff. Like, I'm stepping up my game, and it's not always easy. So master of emotions, where do you go, I just can't be bothered, I don't want to do it today, make up some excuse, oh, I don't feel very well, right? That's your red flag.
So it's really worth realizing that this is a normal part of the process.
Very human, very normal.
And it does not speak to a weak character or anything like that. And also know, this is very well supported by research, that emotion follows action. So when we're feeling stuck, when we're feeling like we don't want to, when we're feeling down, when we're feeling, you know what I'm talking about. Really, the best thing we can do is do something. And it doesn't have to even be a big thing. It can be a small thing. But we know that once we start to do the things, we start to feel better about it. Because look, motivation's not going to get you there. It's identifying those roadblocks, creating a strategy, a map, if you will, to surpass them. It's really going to make the difference. And so when you're feeling stuck in that place, the best thing you can do is anything.
So in that moment, that's where I bring my strategy, which I share with you in case this is one that works for you as well. It's my 1%, right? So I will say for 1 minute, I'm going to do the thing that I don't want to do, or a thing that I've been meaning to do but have been putting off. That can be, I'm going to drink a glass of water because I said I was going to hydrate. It might be, I'm going to do sit-ups for 1 minute. I'm going to read a page of a book for 1 minute, right? Whatever the thing is, and that's it, 1 minute. And that's all, that's the level of my expectation. And then I write that thing down in my 1% diary. So I've got a 1% diary, because if you do 1% improvement every day, right, then in 3.5 months, you're now twice as good as you were, because that makes 100%, right? So you're 1%, and you can look back and track and say, oh yeah, I used to not know a thing about that, but now I know a thing about this. If you take 1 minute a day to learn one thing, you read 1 page of the book that you're wanting to, right? Then 3.5 months time, you've read the book and you now know all that knowledge. You now can do 10 sit-ups in a row instead of 1, or whatever it happens to be for you. So if you don't feel like it and you're schooling yourself out of that emotional state, 1 minute.
Love that. So today, what can you do today? Identify what those obstacles are for you. Maybe they're more physical, maybe they are more emotional, maybe there's some logistical aspects, but write them all down and don't be shy about this. This is the idea that these are excuses, sure, but they're real. So write them all down, get granular about them. And then next time we're going to talk about how to set goals that will help you overcome those specific struggles that you have to reach your vision. All right, until next week, we'll see you there.